New at 10 tonight, there is something brewing at a Starbucks in Anchorage, and this time, let me tell you, it is not coffee. A local artist who was asked to display artwork to make people think had her pieces taken down today because of customer complaints. CBS 11 wanted to know what was so controversial and why was the situation handled the way that it was. Take a look.
That's what a lot of people think about when they think about the war. They think about whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a Republican. They don't think about the soldiers and the sacrifices.
Sarah Seisky never had an agenda for or against the war. She simply wanted her artwork to make people think. In fact, that's what motivated Starbucks on Tudor Road to display her work in the first place.
The only thing that they said is for it to be tasteful, no nudes. I'm a conceptual artist. I do a lot of pieces that make you think. So, you know, they knew going into this that I was going to do pieces that are going to provoke thought.
Provoke thought they did, with this one being the most controversial, listing the number of soldiers who have died in the war since 9/11 this year. The pictures had been displayed for weeks at Starbucks. Then, without any warning, the pictures were returned to her home. No phone call, no written explanation. After CBS 11 started looking into the case, Sarah received a phone call today. Well, the general manager had this to say.
He said that they were trying to create a comfortable environment for their customers and that they just had a lot of complaints.
Complaints that the pieces were too political, too intense. As a military wife with a husband deployed for the second time, for Sarah, this was personal.
This is about the soldiers. This is about Americans, fellow Americans who are sacrificing so much, regardless of whether the war is right or wrong, regardless of what political party you come from. This is something we're supposed to be proud of. I'm very proud of my soldier. So, sorry.
Sarah says if you're thinking there are mixed messages in this ordeal, you'd be correct. Show us provocative artwork, just not too provocative. Read about the war in the paper as you sip that latte. Just don't look up and see it on the wall. Bottom line, this really, she says, comes down to respect.
I think that it could have been handled a little more professionally. I understand where they're coming from, and I would have been understanding had they called me and said, you know, can we replace these with something else? I just didn't care for the manner in which it was handled.
Starbucks did not return our repeated calls for comment on this story. We should also point out that Starbucks told Sarah she could display other less controversial pieces in their store. Sarah says she declined the offer. New at 10.